going on YouTube? It's your boy Jason Plays, back up in his jank with another gaming video topic. Now, I know I took a slight break, and really I was just trying to figure out how I was going to structure my YouTube videos going forward. And what I decided was that I'm going to go with more of a free-form, freestyle approach to delivering the news or gaming topics that I want to talk about. And before, I used to sort of make an outline and deliver the information in a structured format in a certain order. But now it's going to be more of a free form style. So it's just a lot more comfortable and a lot more natural for me. Now, with that being said, the topic of today is Gran Turismo 7. Now, we recently, in the last few days, been getting a lot of developments concerning Gran Turismo 7. Now, a week and a half ago or so, we had the PlayStation Showcase 2021, which was on September the 9th, where they reviewed a new trailer and some new details about Gran Turismo 7. Now, everybody that knows my gaming habits would know that I'm definitely a fan of racing games, which I have said before in past videos. Gran Turismo has got to be my most favorite racing franchise of all time, being that I have owned every Gran Turismo since the PlayStation 1. Yes, Gran Turismo doesn't have all the flash of some racing games, like Burnout, for example, and that's the only part, and because it's a racing simulator, which one of the coolest things about Gran Turismo is that they have these yearly competitions where people compete in Gran Turismo, and then after competing in the game, the finalists and the person who wins actually becomes a real GT driver that drives a real car. And another cool thing about that is a lot of these drivers that are produced from playing the actual video game, once they become real GT drivers, they actually place high during races, even if it is third place or second place. But I think that's pretty amazing that people start playing the video game, then they become pro drivers, and then they actually place in these races. So when they say it's a driving simulator, that's 100% facts. And another thing about Gran Turismo is that there's always been a heavy emphasis on photorealistic graphic representation, especially of the cars and the real world tracks that are present in the game. Now, the series creator Kazunori Yamauchi has always emphasized on making the game as realistic as possible. So not only the graphic representation of the cars and tracks, but also the telemetry with the tires in the road and how many points of contact do the tires connect with the road, etc. So it's basically real life imitated in digital art. And even with the latest GT Pro that was released on the PlayStation 4, Gran Turismo is still held in the highest regard as far as the graphical fidelity, even with stiff competition from series like Forza Motorsport or Project Cars. Now, there's a few things about Gran Turismo 7 that got me a little bit worried. So, Gran Turismo 7 was showed off last year in the trailer during the release of the PlayStation 5, in which it was said that the game would be releasing in 2021 sometime. But we all know that now not to be true. Gran Turismo 7 has now been pushed to 2022 on the date of March the 4th. That's one thing. Second thing is that the trailer that they just showed at the PlayStation Showcase on this past September the 9th, it seemed like it was mismatched footage, which I'll show here, where some of the shots from the trailer looks awesome. The car spinning around in 360, ray tracing, lighting effects, etc. But then there's other shots of the game that look like they're in-game, that look lower quality. You don't see the same visual effects going on, and it just looks somewhat mediocre. So I don't know if it's just a combination of old footage and new footage put together, or that's how the game really looks. Now, there was an interview that was released from a few days ago, Japanese publication Game Watch, where the producer Kaz confirmed that ray tracing will only be available during replays and while the car is in the garage. Now, I'm not saying that ray tracing has to be implemented in a video game for it to be good, because as long as the game is mechanically sound, everything will be fine. And we are still led to believe that Gran Turismo 7 will operate at 4K at 60 frames per second. And we all know that 60 frames per second or more is necessary for racing games to feel smooth and fast. Now, another report that came out that brings another red flag for Gran Turismo 7 at this point is that the game will require a constant internet connection when playing in campaign mode, which is basically the one-player mode. So if you have no internet connection, you won't be able to compete in races. And Eurogamer reached out to Polyphony Digital, and the producer Kaz replied with this statement. He said the requirement for the online connection is actually put in place to prevent people from cheating, so that way people can't modify their save data. And for that reason, if you don't have online connection, the campaign mode cannot be played. Now, he did say that you can still play the arcade mode if you don't have an online connection, and that's only because the arcade mode doesn't affect the save data, and therefore it won't leave any windows for players to cheat with their save data. I don't know how I feel about not being able to play the campaign mode without an internet connection. Fortunately, I do have an internet connection, but what about for the people who don't have an internet connection but would still like to progress through the one-player campaign? So for anyone out there who is a fan of Gran Turismo or has been a fan of Gran Turismo in the past, plan on picking up Gran Turismo 7, how do you feel about this recently released news? Does that change how you feel about this new installment of the game, or are you still planning to pick up Gran Turismo 7 anyway? For me, I'm a car fan, I'm a Gran Turismo fan. I'm fortunate to have an internet connection, and most likely, without a doubt, I will pick this game up upon release. But let me know if this has skewed your opinion or your hype for this game. Also, if you enjoy this unscripted version of video game topics, let me know. And remember, if a game is fun, play it, cause yeah.